So, in response to this week's question, I really feel like this is a tricky situation because I think that usually when we hear about things like this, like free trade, it reminds me of sort of like free trade stores, things I've seen in there where they have objects that are made by like people in a village or people in the area, but then like they say that they get higher wages or they're not working in sweat factories, things like that. So it kind of reminds me of like these free trade items that I see in stores, um, this concept, and so I think that initially, sometimes I would think that, oh yeah, that's a great idea. That's something that they should explore. But honestly, after looking over this week's lesson and really reflecting on just even the past week, I would have to say that maybe this is not the best idea for the village because one, I think that the villager who's against it, Alex, his claims are very strong because you don't know this woman. You don't know if she will actually take most of the business power from the actual makers. They have no control over the exporting process, or they're not going to have any control over that. She's going to control where their merchandise goes. And looking at the education level of the village, because it says most people don't go beyond middle school. Most likely, they don't know very much about international business or business in the U.S. Clearly, she's a businesswoman, so she must know a lot. So it's really hard for me to see how this can turn into a situation where they're being exploited. Um, and I do think that even if she doesn't decide to invest in local farming practices, I think that the point about getting to know the village more, the culture, um, how things work, I think is an excellent idea because I do think that without knowing more about their culture and practices, it's difficult to actually do business with them, and it's also difficult to sort of know where they're coming from, and also for them to know where she's coming from as a foreigner. Um, and even thinking about this week's material, like the situation in Haiti where eventually like the economy collapsed and things like that. Now, obviously, this is not like rice or anything like that where this becomes like a staple item, but it just makes me think about how sometimes like foreign investments can really backfire on the people that it's involved with. So I think that as a volunteer, if I were asked this in this situation, I would probably lean more towards um, the people getting involved in something they're already familiar with, and also something that can help their home economy more, not just in the village, but also for their country. If their country is based more, is trying to move towards better farming practices, I think that can actually be a better idea for them.